Hello all, welcome to Success Channel. Today we are going to discuss about summons and warrants. So let's welcome our esteemed speakers. We have Mr. Janinder Chumbak. He is Managing Partner, Associated Law Offices. He has 16 years of experience as an advocate in civil criminal litigation, insolvency matters, etc. We also have Mr. Rohit Salwan. He is experienced legal head having more than 18 years experience into litigation, non-litigation, recovery of amounts due. And I'm Abhijit Tople. I'm head of legal Geo Financial Services. I have 20 years experience, out of which 5 years in sales and marketing and 15 years as in-house counsel as well as an advocate in civil criminal consumer litigation recovery of amounts due. So let us start. So Janinder, what is summons in a criminal litigation?
Summons in a criminal litigation basically are the orders issued by the court to the accused persons to ensure his presence during the trial of the case. And it is always necessary for the court to issue summons so as to ensure a fair trial. Because after the summons are issued, the accused appears before the court and he gets to know about the case against him. And summons is, basically issued when can be issued also to a witness also in a case. It is not always to the accused only. Summons are issued to a witness to a case also to appear before and depose before the court. And the section 61 to 69 of the Code of Criminal Procedures, these are basically which deals with the issuance of summons. And apart from this, the procedure for issuance of summons is also laid down under section 204 CRC, wherein the court, after hearing the complainant and examining the complainant, issues the summons under section 204 of CRPC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rohit, what is bailable and non-bailable warrant?
Yeah, so depending upon the nature of the offense, whether it is a bailable or a non-bailable offense, court issues a bailable warrant or a non-bailable warrant. So there are, in the CRPC, there are schedules, which are running into a bailable offense, and there is a schedule which is running into a non-bailable offenses. So basis that, obviously the bailable offenses are less serious offenses, like typically, simple hurt, bribery, public nuisance, all these are, bailable offenses. So all these are triable by issuance of a bailable warrant. And the more serious offenses like theft, robbery, rape, murder, these cases are like more serious cases. So these can be these are typically a non-bailable criminal offenses. Here, a court issue a non-bailable warrant in order to procure the appearance of any accused. So that's what the difference between a bailable and a non-bailable warrant.
Janinder, you have any input?
Yes. Actually, as had already been told by Rohit, so in addition to that, see, bailable and non-bailable warrants are also issued by the court to ensure the presence. Say, in a case where a summon has been issued to the accused and it doesn't appear, in that event, the court is empowered to issue coercive steps by issuing bailable as well as non-bailable warrants before the accused. So normally, the court first issues a bailable warrant, and bailable warrant is issued where the court directs that in case the accused executes a personal bond with a sufficient sureties, then he can be released on bail and he can appear on the next date. And in a case where even an accused doesn't appear even on a bailable warrant, then the court can issue non-bailable warrant even in a bailable offense to ensure his presence. And under non-bailable warrant, the direction is issued to the enforcement agencies in both in bailable as well as non-bailable warrants. A direction is issued to the enforcement agencies, which in most of the cases are police officers, to arrest the person and produce him before the court within 24 hours of his arrest.
Okay.
And there are certain grounds also which has been laid down by the Supreme Court in Raghuvansh Devchand Bhasin was the state of Maharashtra, where a guidelines has been laid down for issuance of non-bailable warrants, which are required to be followed by the courts whenever non-bailable warrants are issued.
Okay. For this bailable warrant, where he can get bail basically? Is it before police or he has to appear before court?
No, see now there is some difference also state-wise also, but normally in a bailable warrant, it is always written that in case he gives surety bond for that amount, normally a bailable warrant is issued, bailable warrant for a sum of rupees 10,000 with a direction. So the police officer is required to take a surety for a sum of rupees 10,000, then he can be released on bail there and then and there only. is not required to go to the court, but the bail bond is for his he ensures that he will appear before the court on the date designated in the bailable.
Okay. Now, most interesting question is how to procure this summons and warrants from a court.
See, normally under CRPC, the summons are issued by the court under section 204 of CRPC after examination of the complainant under section 200 of CRPC, wherein a complainant is examined on oath or any other witness which he wants to examine. And thereafter, there is a procedure under section 202 also where the court can postpone the issuance of summons. If the court is satisfied, there's a condition later under section 202 are fulfilled, the court can postpone the issuance of summons. Or thereafter, then court can directly, if the court is satisfied that a prima facie case is made out against the accused persons, court can issue summons to the accused for his appearance under section 204 of CRPC.
Okay.
And now we come, since normally these cases are summon cases, so summons are issued. And take an example where the cases are warrant triable. Then the court issues warrants for his presence. And apart from this, the court can also issue warrants in lieu of summons also. Say, take for an example, it is a case wherein the complainant feels that the accused will not attend the hearings of the court, or the accused is likely to move out of the jurisdiction of the court. The complainant can also move the court for issuance of warrant directly in lieu of the summons.
Okay.
And this coercive steps of bailable and non-bailable warrants are normally issued once the accused fails to appear on the summons.
Okay. And how many times you can actually apply for getting those summons warrants?
See, as such, there is no limit. As long as he is not appearing, there is no limit as to how many times you can appear. But see, if I've issued summons once, and if the accused doesn't appear, and if he is served, then we can take bailable warrant. And even after service of the bailable warrants, if he is not appearing, then we can obtain a non-bailable warrant for his appearance.
Okay. So,
so even at times, if they are not executed, so we can take them again and again. Say, if bailable warrant is issued, but it is not executed, we can take it again. If it is not executed, we can take it again. Yeah. There is no limit prescribed under the Code of Criminal Procedure.
Okay. Janinder, again, the question is to you. Most of the time it is found that, when you send some summons or warrant to a guy, he is not available there. You get that comment on the summons and warrant, right? So how to, serve that summons or a warrant?
See, normal for the service of the summons under the Code of Criminal Procedures, it is required that the summons are required to be served personally on the person named in the warrant. Okay, normally. Okay. Right. So, in addition to this, what can be done? At times, you can accompany the police officer who is taken the warrant as a complainant, somebody on behalf of the complainant also, or you can tell the police officer that now he is available. Then you can directly come with the police and serve it on him. Or you can make another attempt. Say, if one day he is not available, if the warrant is issued today and the date is, say, of the next month, he goes to his house, say on the Monday. If he is not available, you can make another attempt also, say on Tuesday or Wednesday, to get those summons served.
So, in such scenarios, can you take hand delivery of summons for taking help of a police?
See, normally in criminal cases, all the summons warrants are required to be, served by the police officer. What can be done by the hand delivery? You take hand delivery from the court and take it to the police officer directly, and you take the police officer along with you.
Right.
In criminal cases, a party cannot serve it directly on the accused persons. It has to be served in the presence of the police officer. So, even after taking hand delivery of the summons or the warrant from the court, you're required to take it to the concerned police station, take the concerned police officer, get it served on the accused person.
Okay. Rohit, what are the methods of serving summons on an accused?
There are different modes of services are provided in the CPC also and CRPC also. So the major modes are, through registered post AD, you can do it through courier mode, you can send, speed post you can send. And you can, as rightly said by Janen, in civil suit, in the civil matters, you can also take a hand delivery in case you've not been able to deliver through by mode of post. Actually, so you can take a summons survey. You can request a court. You can file an application before a court to take a hand delivery of a summons, so that you can actually attempt to deliver that summons through your hand to the defendant for the matter. So there are different modes of services, as I told you. Publication is also there, but that's a next step when you fail to make it service through registered post, courier, speed post, or by hand delivery. Then there are publication, and there are alternate mode of services also. So these are the basic mode. And obviously, yes, as Janendra said, warrants and all these are all issued in the name of police. It has been directed to a police, and it's a duty of a police to get it executed and procuring the appearance of an accused person before the court. So these are the basic mode of the service in the summon as well as in the warrants.
Okay.
Yeah,
If
just to
Janendra
add a
has
little bit
anything,
more to
yeah,
it,
yeah.
just a little bit on this. In addition to the normal procedures, in view of the judgments of the High Court and the latest Supreme Court, summons can be served through email as well as WhatsApp also. You can get it summons, not the warrant or non-bail warrants. Obviously, they has to be served by the police officer, but the normal summons for his appearance can also be served by email as well as the WhatsApp and other modes of electronic services. Yeah.
Janendra, I have a question for you. Now, let us say no method is of use and he is not receiving any summons warrants. He is not there at all. So, what is the method available with us, and what is proclamation of offender?
Yes. See, normally in a case when summons is not accepting, then we take bailable warrant. If is not accepting, even if thereafter he is not appearing, then we can take non-bailable. Now we are taking a situation where he is not available. Even the non-bailable warrants are not being executed on account of non-availability of the accused person at the address which is available with the complainant. So in those circumstances, what can be done? You ask for proclamation of the accused as offender or an absconder, depending on the case, the sections which are applicable. So this is basically where an accused, we have one address of the accused and he is not appearing, or we don't have any other. Then the court issues a proclamation. And under a proclamation, what is done? A court nominated person goes to the last known address. He pastes one notice on that address of the accused, as well as on the conspicuous place in the court also, and the residence last known of the accused. And then this is done a proclamation, then requiring that he has to appear before the court within 30 days. And if he fails to appear within that period, then he can be declared as a proclaimed offender or a proclaimed absconder, as the case may be, depending on the sections he is charged of.
Right. Rohit, you have any inputs?
Yeah, Janin rightly said. So there is an alternate mode of service. Like in a criminal, it's a affixation proclamation of the offender. Because you'll not been able to secure the appearance of an accused by normal mode. So obviously, court has to move forward. Court has to proceed forward. So that's the only way of doing it. At least proclaim the accused as an offender, and at least the trial can be moved ahead. So that's another way of doing it. We'll call it as an alternate mode of getting it served. Obviously, after giving a lot of opportunity on all the modes and services have been exhausted by the court, be it summons, warrants, bailable warrant, non-bailable warrant. So that's the last remedy, which is suggested by the code itself. So that's we can do that.
Okay. Janendra, now let us say we have taken hand delivery of the warrant or a summons, and we have approached police officer. So what are the obligations of police officer?
See, the police officer is obliged to get it served on the accused. He has to go to the designated address. Sorry. So these are normally addressed to the concerned police station. So the police officer has to go to the concerned address of the accused and get it served on the accused person.
Okay.
And if he is not available, then he has to go to the next date, or he has to make some attempts. and then file a report with the court.
Okay. Rohit?
Yeah, so police machinery is there basically to assist the court on an administrative, rightly said by Jain. So all whatever summons which is issued by a court, it has to be executed by the police administration. So obviously the police person will only goes to a place where the address which has been mentioned in the summon or in the warrant. If the accused is not there at that point of address, so obviously he has to come back. He has to report back to the court through his the protocol or the administrative channel that he's not there, and there is no alternate if there is no alternate address to it, then obviously then the alternate mode of the publication or the proclaimed offender has to be taken forward.
Okay. Janinder, in addition, in continuation of this question, what are the rights of police officer when he has summons or a warrant in hand?
See, once he has a summon, then he has a right that he can go to the address of the accused person and he can ask for his presence and he can get it served on him as regards the summon is concerned. And the second case, when a warrant is there, when if a bailable warrant is there, he can ask him to produce a surety of the amount which is mentioned in the bailable warrant to secure his presence before the court. And the example of a non-bailable warrant. If it is he has the right to arrest that person and produce him before the concerned court within 24 hours of his arrest.
So just to add here about hand delivery of the summons, when we were taking summons when I was in NBFC, we were actually procuring summons warrant from a court, hand delivery, and then I observed that throughout India, each police station helps the guy with the hand delivery of the summons and warrant to serve it properly to the accused person. So very great machinery, police machinery, and really they help us to get these summons and warrant executed. That's the beauty of actually police machinery. My last question is, what are the repercussions if the accused is avoiding summons or warrant?
See, the repercussions, as had already been told by me, the repercussion would be if he's avoiding summons, then court can issue bailable warrant. And if he's avoiding bailable warrant, the court can issue non-bailable warrant. And under non-bailable warrant, he can be arrested by the police and produced before the court. Then it will be up to the court to whether to grant him bail or not, depending on the offense he is charged of. And then thirdly, if even the non-bailable warrants are not being executed, then he can be declared as a proclaimed offender or an absconder, depending on the sections he is charged of. And at the same time, after that, if there is a property available, then under section 83, his properties can be attached and put to auction, the properties of the accused. So these are all because he has to face if he is not appearing. So not apart from this NBW and proclaimed him declared as a proclaimed offender or absconder, his properties also can be sold and can be attached by the court.
Rohit, you have any input?
Yeah, so repercussion as told by Janin. So the functions of the court is to procure the appearance of an accused so that trial can move ahead. If he's not appearing on a various directions, like someone is the most first step or the initial says we are discussing during the entire session. So someone is the first step is the most the non-punitive or non-deterrent kind of a mode of calling somebody. If he's not appearing on that, then obviously the next stage is bailable warrant, and next is a non-bailable warrant. And if the police machinery, the administration also not been able to failed to actually procure the appearance of the accused, whatever reason, maybe he's absconding, he's getting underground, or he doesn't want to he want to avoid trial for whatever reasons, maybe he may have his own reasons for that matter. So obviously if he is avoiding summons, all the process of the court, the last measure which left with the court is to proclaim him as an offender, to attach his property, to sold his property. So these are the only options left with the court in order to procure the appearance of any accused, and yes, to move ahead with the trial also, because appearance of an accused will not decide the fate of a trial. It has to go ahead with that, and there are the measures which has been decided and which is laid down in the court, and court has to follow those things. So yes, there are repercussions also. So whenever any court, the summons or warrants or non-bailable are issued, the person or accused has to abide by those. Otherwise, repercussions are there, as told by. It can go extend to the attachment of properties and the sale also, an auction of those properties also of the accused. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a great discussion, and thank you very much for joining Success Channel and sharing knowledge with all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.